Hello friends and strangers, today... oh man, I'm ill, excuse me. Let's try that again, shall we? Hello friends and strangers, today I'd like to talk to you about books versus films. Because in a world where more and more people are spending less time reading and more time in front of their TV screens, too often am I hearing the words, "No, I haven't read the book. I've seen the film though." Now don't get me wrong, nothing makes me happier than when my favourite book series is turned into a television show or a film. But in my mind there is simply no competition and books will nearly always win hands down. However, while most of the time I will prefer the book to the film, there have been a few exceptions. And just because I like the book, it doesn't always mean that I'm going to like the film, and it breaks my heart when that happens. So today I thought I'd talk about some of my favourite books that have been turned into films that may or may not have worked out the way I wanted them to. Now, of course, we have to talk about Harry Potter. Harry Potter has a very special place in my heart, and to be honest, I think the films did a very good job. I know a lot of people will complain and say, "Oh, but they missed out this point of information," or "Dumbledore didn't say that line right. Harry, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?" But nonetheless, I absolutely love the films, and I think they did a really good job because turning Harry Potter into a series of films was not easy. I mean, you've got a whole freaking universe to create on screen, and somehow they managed to bring Hogwarts to life. So while I overall prefer the books, I still really like the films. One does not simply talk about books without mentioning Lord of the Rings. I'm currently rereading the Lord of the Rings series, and I've just watched the films again last week. And I think this is one of those really rare moments when actually I prefer the films to the books. This is my second time reading the Lord of the Rings series. The first time I didn't really enjoy it. I can't believe I just said that. I got the feeling that this book could have been so much shorter than it actually was. Like, the author could have said it in 20 words, but instead he chooses to say it in 20 chapters. And there are so many names. "Hello, my name is blah blah blah, son of blah blah blah, son of blah blah blah, and I come from this place over here. And all of these names begin with the letter A, so by the time I'm done talking, you've completely forgotten who I am again." I'm all for books that create a humongous world that you can get absolutely lost in. However, I find when it comes to the Lord of the Rings that I am simply too lost. I have no idea where I am, I have no idea who that character is. No wonder the films are so frickin' long. Can't believe I'm saying it, I actually prefer the films to the books. One of my favourite book series is the Inheritance Saga by Christopher Paolini. The books are very similar to the Lord of the Rings in that you've got dragons and mythology. Christopher Paolini has created a whole new world with its own language. And unlike the Lord of the Rings, even though this universe is so big, I don't feel so lost when I'm reading it. So when I found out that a film was being made, I was really excited. I think I peed my pants a little bit. And then the film was awful. I think they left it open for a sequel, but they never made one, and I think I'm actually quite relieved about that. Oh my goodness, it was so bad. And I was watching this film thinking, I want to like you because you are based on one of my favourite book series of all time, but you are so rubbish. It had so much potential, and yet the film just didn't live up to it. I'm really sorry. So the Inheritance Saga books get a thumbs up, while Eragon the movie gets a very sad thumbs down. And this isn't the only example of a time when my favourite book series has been absolutely ruined by the movie. One of my all-time favourite authors is Darren Shan, and I have read the Saga of Darren Shan like 50 million times because I just love it that much. It's a 12-book series, and yet from this 12-book series they decided to make one film. In this one film, they tried to combine books 1 to 7 and put it all together in like an hour and a half, and it was terrible. They just essentially took my favourite story and chucked it out the window. I think it's because at the time the movie industry was just chugging out vampire movies day after day after day because they were trying to cash in on that vampire hype created by the Twilight series, which we will get to in a minute. The next book series I'm going to talk about is, of course, The Hunger Games. In fact, Catching Fire comes out on DVD today. To the shops! I know The Hunger Games has been met with a few mixed reviews, but actually I think The Hunger Games film series is really good. I think it captures the horror of sending children in to kill each other really well. The only problem I have is that apparently they're turning the last book into 2 films, and there is absolutely no need for that. I know not everyone feels the same way about the Hunger Games movies, but personally I think it's been really accurate. And the last series that I'm going to talk about is the Twilight Saga, because frankly, both the films and the books were complete rubbish. Alright, so that's it from me. So I want to know down in the comments below, what do you prefer, books or films? This is my last video in halls for a little bit because it's the Easter holidays. I'm going home. I haven't been home all term. I literally cannot wait. Plus, I'm ill again. I'm always ill these days, aren't I? There must be something in the air at university that just makes everybody ill all the time. I bet as soon as I get out of here, my illness will just lift and disappear, only to return the second I get back after the holidays. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye!